pass on to our children and their children, and not necessarily monetary things, living a better world, for instance, a better environment, water, electricity, not just social amenities, virtues as well, kind human beings, caring ones, people who have integrity, for instance. So there's very many things that we all have in common that we all want, because I don't know why we feel like they want something different from ours, because we get defensive when we don't understand each other. But when we start seeing that, oh my God, we are more similar than we are different. Your music is, I hate their music. Their music is strange, but we all are striving for the same things. Shee, go ahead.
Yes. One thing I've picked from all of them, the one thing that has come out clearly is they think that what the older generation is about is not relevant. I've picked that from all of them. They're not saying it directly, but it's coming out.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that, sorry to say this, but the thing that we do not understand when we are younger is there are things that are so principles of life.
Yeah.
Which never change. Never change. The only thing that changes is whether you understand them or not. Yeah. So they might be 30, 40, 50 years older than you, but they're just communicating it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah? You just do not understand it because they're not saying it in a way that you understand. Just like you said, we want integrity. You know, they might want to instill that through force. Yeah? But it is what they want. They want discipline. Because these are principles of life. If you don't have discipline, you don't achieve much in life, isn't it? You'll keep discarding things that are important, and you discover a whole decade later and it's too late, you know? And now, the young ones think that because they are pushing for discipline brutally, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Right now, we are being taught to parent gently.
Yeah. Apparently, even here, you whooping your children is Stone Age.
But then at the end of the day, we all want our kids to end up disciplined. Yeah? So we are being told, in order to end up with a disciplined child, parent gently. This is the same thing they wanted for us. Can you believe it? They wanted us to become disciplined, but they used force. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're trying to arrive to the same destination. That's why.
Or it's the tools at our disposal that could be different.
Yes, exactly. So this generation may not understand the older generation because they've not come to that place where they're able to take themselves out of the equation and look at things from a third eye, you know.
And is the older generation also seeing the same? Because I feel like the older generation is also a little pretentious.
Aloof.
in that everything we have struggled for. In 1992, for instance, when we were fighting for multipartyism, Akina Ruto, how old were they? Our president, Shee. I called him Akina Ruto like he's my BFF. His Excellency was 21, 22, 23. They were out on the streets fighting with cops. During that time, their parents must have thought they have lost their mind, right? So if we see the similarities, because I feel like the Gen X's and baby boomers are pretentious and lying to themselves that they never used force to gain anything in their lives. They did.
I feel like they're the ones who've used the most force in their lives compared to us.
Okay.
You know, we've been taught about being gentle from a very early age.
Yeah.
I learned about gentle parenting maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Millennials were the breaking point.
Yes.
And the starting of the gentleness, and the aggression does not take you anywhere.
Exactly. You know, I feel like they have been more aggressive for most of their lives. So they might be aloof because this is what now being violent does. It blocks your emotional maturity.
I love your nuggets of wisdom.
It blocks your emotional maturity because you're always reacting. You're not responding.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
It blocks. You're not thinking. You're just hitting. Umevunja kikombe.
Yeah.
You're not trying to understand, by the way. This is a child. She's only 2 years. Yeah. She has no idea. Even if she tried to lift her hand up and place the cup here or whatever here, she cannot reach. You know, she can't reach it. And it's actually a good thing that she's trying. She's trying, you know. So
And there was no conversation
so these people
before or after.
are aloof because emotionally they're not yet mature. Even at their age. I'm sorry to say. There's a book
It's
called...
a hard truth.
It's a hard truth. There's a book called Adult Kids of Emotionally Immature Parents, which I have quoted in the book. And adult kids of emotionally unavailable parents or emotionally immature parents, they end up becoming introverts, thinking they're actually introverts, but they're not.
And walking on eggshells.
Yes, they become rebellious, unfortunately, whereas they're not rebellious. They become compliant. They become runners. They run away from problems. Now, the parents, on the other hand, never ever learn how to respond. So that's why you might think you're not being heard because they do not know how to comprehend what you're saying. They have never comprehended their entire lives.
Yeah.
So now you're calling them to a level they've never ever ascended to. So that's why we have the disconnect.
I don't even feel like
So also,
1 hour is enough to have this conversation.
Therefore, they also need to have therapy.
You have said everyone gets therapy. Shee, in
This country needs therapy. If you're not going to pray, you get therapy.
No, prayer has to be there, but we can't neglect therapy. Therapy is important.
Actually, you can go through it without therapy. Can you
Really?
believe it? Yes.
You just pray.
You pray and you become...
There's people who need many therapists. Shee.
There are people who do.
Even... Okay,
It's-
our producer is calling for time. Maybe we wrap up after the top of the hour. Is that okay? So we'll do that. I know we only have an hour for the conversation, but today we'll get on the other side of the clock. So hold that thought. You can do our final closing remarks there because tunapenda kile tunasikia.